Hi there. So we've just had a look at the placement group structure and through PowerPoint. Now what I want to do is go through the exact same thing in the Sonia client. Now this will just be the core part. So in the previous video, I also talked about the additional features that could be added onto Sonia. But we're just going to focus on the core part for now. So the first thing I need is to make sure I have some students. Now the students are stored in the student module here. Now this should either be coming from your student enrollment system or manually importing if you're a Sonia Live client, but you can also just create new students as well. So I just need to put in the appropriate code, put in the appropriate details, and then press save. Now one thing that's important is that I discussed before about how a student needs to be active to be enrolled into the placement group. So to do that, you need to go to enrollments and make sure that some enrollments are here. Now this once again should either come through your student enrollment system, or if you export it like through a spreadsheet if you're Sonia Live, or you can manually assign enrollments. So I will just manually assign one now, just choosing my subject, semester, year, study mode, and status. And then hit save. The student is now active, and in this active filtered students list here, I will be able to find the student. So now I have my student. The next thing I need is a site. So I'll close out of that and go to my sites. Now if you set it up so that the sites all got imported through the import site spreadsheet that you sent to help@soniasupport.com, this should all be available to you. But as time goes on, you might need to add sites. So to do that, you just once again go new, put in a site name, and hit save. Now this is easier compared to the student because they are either active or not active based on this little checkbox. So I've created my site and all I need is a name and it's good to go. So I'll close out of that. The next part is placement groups, where everything gets joined together. So I need to create a placement group. Then I'm going to go to New and create a new placement group, and I will put in a placement group code. Now placement group code is just a shorthand notation so that you understand what the placement group is. So if I put 20 underscore S1 underscore edu 313, I can then expand the full name, which is Semester 1 2020 Education Placements for Subject 313 as an example. Now the code is generally best as a shorthand notation and the name is the expanded one. What you also need is an area. Now this can be anything you like because it's a drop-down list, so you decide what's in this drop-down list, and that's under school options lists. So you go into school options list to populate any drop-down list that you have. So I'm just going to choose middle school in this example. Then I'm going to choose some dates. So we'll go 1st of February to the 1st of June. So now what we have is we've got our students, we've got our sites, we've got our placement group, Now what we need to do is start bringing everything together. So to do that, the first thing we need to do is get our students into the placement group. That can be done through students on the ribbon in the placement group module. So I click on students, go to the green plus, search for my topic or subject, in this case my professional experience 3, and then press search. I can find my student, select my student, and then add, and then hit save. So we have now added the student to the placement group through enrolments. The next thing we need is to add the site details into the placement group, and that is done through placement requests. So I'm going to go to placement requests and then press add. I'm then going to search for my site, click on my site, and then down below are all the details that I can add to my site. I'm going to request one placement. I'm also going to confirm it because this is an example, but confirmed would once again be sites that have agreed to take on your requested number of students. I'm going to leave the dates as is because they get pre-populated by the placement group, and it's going to be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday placement. Then I'm going to press add. What you'll notice is that the site disappears because we want you to be able to add sites, but we don't want it to clutter it up if you need to add 10, 20, or 30 different types of placement requests. But you can always go back to it by clicking Show Sites Already Added, and that will become available for you to add multiple placement requests of the same site. Once you're done adding all the placement requests, press Close, and they will appear behind here. Then I will press Save. What you'll see with this one is it's now a confirmed placement request, and as I've said before, Sonia will automatically generate the placements, and you can see that here. So we now have the student in the placement group, we've got the placement request, and because it's confirmed, it's automatically generated a placement. Now what we can do is the final arrow, which is allocating a student. And to do that, you can go to the student allocation screen, and that's these two arrows. On the left is all your students, on the right is all the placements, and they're separated at this moment by site, and you can change this as you need to. You can drag and drop. But for now, to manually allocate a student, you left click on the student, left click on the site, and then press the green plus. A warning will appear if there's any issue, but remember, as a placement officer, you can set the rules, but you can also break the rules because we see it as a reason. So this one, I can see the student hasn't met the required mandatory checks. I'm going to press OK because that doesn't bother me at the moment because this is a demo. Now I can see that John Smith has been allocated to QSR International. Now looking back at the PowerPoint, we have now completed the core section. Thank you for listening.